Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to do what I'm going to call an initial review. So later on we will talk more in depth about what this gun is doing, but I think I have about 100 rounds through it. This is not a full, review or trying to say that the gun's going to run reliably for 5,000 rounds. I can't say that now, but my channel's all about bringing you gun reviews over time and kind of projects where I show you where I've kind of upgraded or changed or changed my mind on the way certain things are and kind of changed it up a little bit of these pistols. So this is going to be called an initial review, not like a long-term review. You can go find channels that's going to shoot 2,000 or 3,000 rounds right off the bat and show you reviews of a gun, but usually mine's more about a project than it is about an actual review on a gun, just throwing you that information real quick and just saying what you feel about it. I take you along for the ride of a project that I usually am doing on these particular platforms, so that's kind of what we're doing here. So this is the Canik MC9 Prime, Mete MC9 Prime, and we've already done quite a bit to this project, and I'll say, like, I've put about 100 rounds through it so far. I've got some other guns I've got to shoot some more and break them in and work on some of the problems I'm having with them, so this one's have to be put to the side a little bit and not use too much ammo on it yet, because I've got some earlier projects I'm really trying to get behind me, and I'm wanting to get running really well. So, but this one so far has been 100% reliable so far at 100 rounds. And I found when a gun, a certain platform, a certain brand, model of gun, when a gun tends to be 100% reliable in the first 100 rounds, most of the time it's going to be pretty reliable, because usually you're going to have more issues in that break-in period, and this gun has been 100% reliable. Now, you guys are following this gun on my channel know that there's been some kind of changes that we've done to it, and we'll kind of talk about that. And I don't want to give too many details on the video, but if you want to ask questions in the comments, feel free to ask. But I want to talk about it real quick. So this gun comes in a great package. It really is not needing much out of the box, which is awesome. I think they do so many things to give people what they want, even though it may not quite be to the full level of what people want. It's so close right out of the box, because you get this magwell, and that's what a lot of people are looking for now, is these tactical magwells. But the magwell also is not bulky, and it actually is fit really well to the grip itself. So it comes with that right out of the box. It comes with what feels to be like a stippled grip. The texture is so aggressive, it feels more stippled, whereas most of their grips are kind of soft and kind of slippery. This one is really well textured. I mean, the back and the front will almost hurt your hands if you've got really tender hands, but for me, I think it's perfect. I mean, that's what you want in a lightweight gun like this, is really heavy texturing on the back and the front, and the sides are just enough not to rub your skin, but they still grip your hands really well when you get a good squeeze or grip on the gun. So that's really awesome. The mag release is a little different. I think it may be metal. I haven't taken it out yet, but it kind of looks to be more metal than the other mag releases that come on the other MC9s. I'd have to really look at that to see, but maybe it is just a hard polymer and it just kind of looks more metallic in nature, but I'm not sure about that. The trigger, of course, it comes with this aluminum face trigger, and I really like the way it looks and the way it performs. We have done a little bit of changes to that, but we'll show you that in just a minute. Ambi, this is an ambi gun, so you can swap the mag release and the slide release are both ambidextrous, so that's really nice as well. So left-handed, right-handed, doesn't matter. Slide serrations are deep and awesome, and not too crazy aggressive to where it can hurt you, but just aggressive enough where you're not going to slip off the gun. So, and it also gives a lot of styling cues. There's a lot of different mill work that they've done on this slide, and cuts and stuff, even up here on the front. How that looks. The cuts on there just look more high-end to me than any Glock you're going to get, for sure. So that's pretty cool. You get good texture up here. We didn't talk about the trigger itself. You do get both front and back night sights, which is really cool out of the box. And these do co-witness with red dots, which I really do like. I think that's pretty awesome. This particular red dot sits just a hair higher, but it has its own backup sight, so they just raise up just a hair above the original sight, so you can still co-witness, but it's just right on the bottom edge of the glass, which I'm kind of like anyways. It doesn't bother me. So that's where we are right now. Let's talk about what I share with you guys first as far as kind of what we've done. We noticed that out of the box, the trigger had a ton of pre-travel, and I didn't want to get rid of all that, but we've added a little pre-travel screw to just take out a little bit of pre-travel from the trigger. People were saying, why don't you get a Freedom Smith and they'll take out all your pre-travel? Well, this is me wanting to get a different carry gun, so I prefer not to completely eliminate the pre-travel. Like the Freedom Smith will pretty much take away all the pre-travel, and is borderline right on the edge of being almost unsafe to carry, because it's almost touching that firing pin block when it's all the way forward. So I'm not saying it's unsafe. I'm sure they've designed it to be safe, but I don't want a competition trigger on my carry gun. I don't mind it being pretty close, but I don't really want a competition trigger. I'll kind of give you an example. My Bull Viper, I have tuned this trigger to be not as light as my competition. I could make this trigger 2 pounds, but it's right at 3 1/4 pound or so, because I did not want to tune it as light as my competition guns, because this is a carry gun that I carry sometimes. So that's kind of an example of that. I do not want to turn this into a competition trigger. Speaking of the trigger, this is under 4 pound trigger. We did add the spring kit. If you have any questions about that, ask me in the comments. But we did add a spring kit. That's all we've done to the trigger besides taking the pre-travel up just a little bit. It still has more than the Freedom Smith. As you can see, there's a little bit of pre-travel before the break. Show you that. So it's under 4 pounds, really, really light take up. And that's all your pre-travel. Reset is right on the wall, right on the reset. Your pre-travel is maybe 4 millimeters and then a break. So like I said, under 4 pounds, about 3.5 pounds, maybe a little less. So that's about where I like my carry guns anyway. But if you're not used to triggers, this kind of trigger will surprise you, and it might not be good for some people that's not really used to shooting light triggers. But I just wanted to share that with you. So the gun's been 100% reliable. It's awesome. It shoots good. It is, because of its weight, it kind of fools you how light it is for its size. Even though technically it is the size of a Glock 19 pretty much, it's still, you still get surprised with how light it is, considering it's got all this stuff on it. It still feels pretty light, so that's kind of cool. But it also makes it a little harder to shoot at distance. Any light gun is always going to be a little harder to shoot at 25 yards than, say, 40-ounce gun. 40-ounce gun will shoot 25 a whole lot easier. So if you drink a little too much coffee, this thing will let you know that you drank too much coffee. Just letting you know kind of how that works. So we did the pre-travel, we did the springs, we've ported this ourselves. So you can see that port there. That's pretty cool. We've opened up the front port as well, the top port, not the sides. I don't care nothing about opening up the side ports, just that top port, and added that big port on top. And you're still getting velocities of around 1,080 feet per second out of standard box 115 grain. That's going to vary based off the ammo, of course, and the type of powder loads that they do per those manufacturer ammos, so yeah, but right around 1,080 feet per second on the test on the Aguila 115 grain that I tested. So not a whole lot of velocity loss, considering this thing is pretty well ported and pretty well compensated. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. This has got a Gideon XL Judge XL on it. So it's a 6MOA green dot. Awesome dot. We will review that later. We just sighted this thing in, so I wanted to let you see this in its final configuration. I don't think we're doing nothing else to it. It's 100% reliable. It shoots good. It shoots flat for its size. And, for its weight and size, it shoots very flat. No gun this light is going to shoot as flat as some other guns, but this one's great for what it is. Let me know what you think. Please like and subscribe. I know this gun's been popular on the channel, so I wanted to throw something out there before we get like a 300 or 500 round review on it, before we take it to competition. So I wanted to give you a little more information on it. Let me know what you think. Everything about it is really cool and really awesome. So yeah, guys, please send me a like and subscribe if you see this video. God bless. Have a great day.